Hi. So I wanted to do a prayer. I wanted to do a video about prayer and how prayer works, because obviously prayer is such a personal thing, and I've always been a big fan of Javier Gibran's words on prayer and how it really is about just a moment of um, connecting, less to do with asking for what we want or humbling ourselves, but rather just the showing up of the experience. So, so this video is about my own experience with prayer and how, in what way it's worked to bring me a deep peace and to also bring me what felt good and what was a result of that experience. Basically, prayer is the moment when we're speaking to God and a God of our own understanding, and meditation is a moment where we allow the silence to let us hear some of the ideas and some of the inspiration and some of the guidance and basically for me they go together. So there's a moment when we're the ones doing the speaking, and there's a moment, and the speaking can be done in writing. You could be somebody who journals and who expresses your feelings in that moment. A prayer can be as simple as, things are not going the way you want, and it's a simple prayer of like, God, I need some help here. But in my experience, what I've realized is that whenever I am praying from a place of very specific outcome, the prayer tends to get blocked, or it tends to have an evolution. So when I was in Paris and I began my practice, I remember I had clarified my desires. I had clarified my vision for my life. So I had definitely done that work. But then my prayer became one of release and of asking for the highest good for all. So I took myself out of that experience in the desire, in the genuine desire to serve, and that was what I was asking for. I was asking for life to use me, the vehicle of me, what I could do, how I could do it, in whatever way I could uplift the world. And with that, I was manifesting and bringing to me everything I wanted, everything that I actually desired. And so but the orchestration was very flowy, and I wasn't making it happen. It was guided, it was synchronistic, everything I needed showed up. I was in the right place at the right time. Things were just very flowy. And I had the same experience when I moved to New York, and I wasn't so set on what I wanted. I just knew what didn't feel good, and I knew there must be another way. And again, life showed me an orchestration that was way beyond what I had imagined my New York experience would be about. When I came back to London, I got caught up in what we call the ego mind, which is the more fearful mind. It's the mind that's trying to sort of strategize through life. And because I grew up here, my education was top notch. It was here. My career was a career in finance, and again, it was here. So everything, all of that ego stuff was in London. So when I came back, that programming was kind of set in stone, and I had to. So I started to feel like I was making things happen, and I had to get back into sort of clever Rania who can make things happen. And I found that I got back into that thing of it just felt hard and harder and harder, and I had to remind myself to go back into a place where my prayer was bigger than me, because I knew that that's the place where we allow the universe to bring us amazing ideas and to come in without our little teeny weeny ideas of what we think we want. Life's plans are so much bigger than what we can even imagine. I mean, that's what in NeuroScience we keep showing and proving, that we're using such a small percentage of our brain's capacity. So essentially it's because that's all we know. But what's available out there in terms of possibilities is way, way, way bigger than what we can imagine. So I wanted to make this video and to remind you to go into a place where you surrender your desires, and you really ask for what's of the highest good for all. So, thank life for supporting you, thank life for showing you the way, but try to go bigger than the small specific, because it's the ego that thinks it needs that certain person or that certain relationship to work out in that way. It's the ego that thinks it needs that amount of money. It's the ego that thinks it needs that progression in the career. But the thing is, if you get honest with yourself, you'll realize that the plan that you've had, or the plan that I've had, the plan that a lot of us have had, hasn't actually worked out. So sometimes we get our desires, we get the things that we're wishing for, but they don't actually feel good. And even beyond that, what happens is that we're calling in, we might be wasting our time putting so much energy into certain desires and certain goals and trying to make those happen. But actually, we realize that as we bring them in, they're just band-aid solutions. They're not really the long-term solution, because we're back at square one shortly thereafter. So in this sense, I hope this video serves you and shows you that when you go bigger and you allow the universe to do the orchestration for you, the universe knows exactly what you want. It knows what your rent is. It knows what your bills are. It knows what your desires are. I mean, we're so intimately connected with this source that created us and creates stars and rainbows and creates trees and creates flowers and creates all the beauty in the world. And we are one of his creations. So we're here to bring out the biggest us. And if you think of the people who inspire us and the people who went out and did the greatest things in the world, they were connected to something so much bigger than themselves, and whether it was Gandhi, whether it was Martin Luther King, whether it was Mother Teresa, whether, it came from such a bigger place than their little, petty desires or petty goals. I don't want to call them petty, because sometimes we feel like they're so needed, but it's fear that's driving that show. It's the ego mind that's making us think that it's that. But we know from past experiences that when we manifested that, we've had to come back and re-manifest that. So let's allow, and I'm speaking to myself as much as I'm speaking to you here, because I'm having to remind myself of that let the prayer be for something way bigger than us, because we can get caught up in the ego thinking it knows the way, but the ego's ways don't really work, and we know that. We have enough experience to know about that. So this is what I believe is the secret to prayer: is to pray from a place of surrender and from a place of a willingness to be our most helpful. My favorite line from my favorite prayer part from the Course in Miracles is, "What miracles would you have me perform today?" And I love that. When you get out of your own way and you realize it's about a healing that's way bigger than yourself, then you can, sort out your stuff whilst being the light of the world as well. And I love that. I love that reminder that I get from A Course in Miracles, is that you are the light of the world, and I say that to you, you are the light of the world. And when you show up for videos like this and are open-minded to these kind of messages and are searching for ways that are better, that feel better to you, so that you can bring that, you can share that light with the world, then I honor you. I so honor you for showing up for your practice, for having a practice, for wanting to grow and evolve and be the light of the world, because this is what the world needs right now. It needs light, and it needs that in a big way. So we need to override all the ego's fear and all the ego's manipulation and just get into a place where we allow love to become the power. And from there, in my experience, that's always the space of miracles. That's always when the miracles come and meet us there. So remember, when you're praying from a place of lack, as in, I need this, I need that, I need this, I need that, you're actually saying to the universe something is missing. And the universe knows that you're complete exactly as you are, and that all the answers are within you because of your connection to source energy. So lack attracts lack in the same way that abundance attracts abundance. So when you're relishing in the abundance of the sunshine and the abundance of what you have in your world, whatever it is, whether it's an abundance of Mother Nature, an abundance of clean water, and an abundance of deliciousness, an abundance of kindness, an abundance of guidance, because we have so much guidance coming at us in every way when we're open-minded. Books start falling, in our lap. That's what happened to me. They've actually fallen into my lap in bookstores. When you get open, solutions start to come, and the universe works through people. So people will start to say things that are on your mind. So the idea is to get super open-minded, because the teachers will show up. They'll show up in videos, they'll show up in podcasts, they'll show up in every way possible. But our job is to be open-minded to the messages that are coming at us, and then to go ahead and do the take the advice, essentially. So I hope this message serves you. I'm sending you so much love, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.